This podcast is brought to you by Verona Vineyards, the finest wine in all of Europe. Come visit us at our vineyard and indulge in tastes you've never had before. Try our newest wine and be prepared to be cast away by its mesmerizing flavor. Book an experience now and say you came from Verona Uncovered for a discount on select experiences. No wine is better than Verona's Vineyards, an experience the whole family will never forget.
Hi guys, welcome back to Verona Uncovered. No drama in Verona goes past us. I'm your lovely host, Patricia Duffy, and today we will be discussing the tragic double suicide of Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet. These star-crossed lovers, fated to die, met their untimely death not too long ago. How did they die? Who was at fault? The question remains at large. Throughout the duration of this podcast, I will try to uncover the truths about their death. With special guests and interviews, hopefully you and I will get an idea of what or who the victims were dealing with. Let's start from the very beginning. It's commonly known here in Verona that the Montagues and Capulets, Romeo and Juliet's families, have been feuding for centuries. Driven by hate for each other, their children were also expected to not interact. This probably caused Romeo and Juliet to have to be secret about the relationship. If you ask me, tensions had to have been high between the two lovers. To make it even more dramatic, according to reports, Romeo killed Juliet's cousin, Tybalt Capulet, the day he married her. I bet she was feeling pretty sad about that. His punishment was banishment, which, to his credit, he took in stride. The next day, the two teens were found dead. How did they die? To aid in our investigation, I've brought in Verona PD's lead detective, Emily.
Hi, I'm Detective Emily, and I'm the leading investigator on the Montague Capulet death.
Welcome to Verona Uncovered. It's so nice to have you.
Very kind of you to have me.
Right off the bat, what evidence can you tell me that might help in trying to uncover who caused the double suicide?
I've gathered some evidence, and I will share with you whatever I can to help figure out who was at fault for the young lovers' deaths. Here are some facts that I have gathered. The two were found dead at the scene. Juliet suffered a stab wound, while Romeo was found with a deadly poison in his system.
Wow. Do we know how he got this poison? Maybe someone had planned to trick him with it.
The poison was found in his system is illegal and punishable, so my team is actively looking for the person who provided him with this potion.
Have you guys also looked into seeing if maybe the families had caused the teenagers' deaths? It must have affected them a lot.
Yes, actually. Our psychologist at the station relayed to me how impactful the pressure to be part of two families could have been. Romeo and Juliet might have found release in the death away from the pressure of their families.
That is just so sad. I hope they find justice for their situation. Well, it was so nice to have you on the channel. Thank you for taking the time of day to come in.
The pleasure was all mine. Hopefully you will be able to shed light on the situation given your platform. Good day.
Wow. I just can't believe how sad their suicides were. So gruesome, too. I've even heard that their bodies were found on top of each other. Sadness warped across their faces. That's just so sad. To further discuss how the relationship between the two families could have affected Romeo and Juliet, I brought in Friar Lawrence, a notable man in the community of Verona. Welcome.
Good morning. It is so nice to be here. I'm so glad someone is trying to find out what could have been going on with their minds, for their sakes.
Just trying to do some good. So, what can you tell me about Romeo and Juliet and their families? Were you close?
Yes, actually. I have known the Montagues and the Capulets for quite some time. And Romeo and Juliet have always been amazing children who happen to be cursed by their family's ongoing feud.
I think everyone in Verona has heard about them fighting at least once. Such a shame that these two kids had to be affected by all this.
I had always advised both of them, and when I saw how madly in love they were, I knew I had to do something about it.
Really? Wow, I never would have thought that someone had helped them. What was your plan?
Honestly, these star-crossed lovers do not deserve to be contained because of their families. So I came up with a plan to marry them and allow them to see each other once again.
I'm guessing this plan went awry, and this was the cause of their death?
Yes, that is the case. I tried everything I could, yet it was not enough. If only their families had seen past their differences and thought of the greater good. I believe the families' ignorance to the fact that their hatred had affected their kids was the cause of their death in the end.
The fact that they could not be together out in the open seems to have played a big role on the cause of their death. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate your testimonial.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for trying to keep Romeo and Juliet's memories alive. I will take my leave now.
Well, you heard it here, folks. After this thorough investigation that has been conducted, I have come to the conclusion that the hatred between the two houses played a significant role in the death of the lovers. The cycle of violence caused Romeo to kill Tybalt, for him to be banished. Because of this, he could not be with Juliet, causing her to be desperate enough to fake her own death. Their suicides were the final straw between the houses, the strain that could not be fixed. It is a tragic situation, one that will never be repaired. Well, now we have done the investigating. That's it for this podcast. Thank you so much for choosing to listen to Verona Uncovered. Also, a special thanks for Detective Emily and Friar Lawrence for taking the time out of their busy days to help out in our investigation. What do you think was the cause of Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet's death? Write us a letter and mail in your answers to 123 Wentworth Street, Verona. Tune in for next week's show, where we will discuss Lady Victoria and her various suitors. Who should she choose to marry and live the rest of her life with? Come back next week to find out. This was Verona Uncovered.